Back together with X. Haven't posted couple photos online since deleting. We are too good to allow people to mess up our space. Oh, am I the asshole? A minute ago. Hi, everyone, especially dog owners. We have a friend visiting from abroad for 8 days, so we decided to let him stay over. And we have a 9-year-old Australian Silky Terrier, and one evening, as I had just entered the bathroom, I heard my dog yelp. He started limping immediately, and my friend told me that he barely touched him with his butt. I thought at first my dog could have panicked or need some attention, or he'll be better in no time. After 2 days, my dog is still limping, and I have a reason to believe that my friend wasn't completely honest regarding barely touched his butt, because I noticed the way he dives onto chairs. So I'm taking my doggo to the vet today, and I want to charge my friend with the bill. The way I see it, there's no point in getting angry with him, and we'll undo things, but I don't want to sugarcoat things and want my friend to acknowledge the damage he caused. My partner thinks just taking him to the vet is enough for my friend to understand what he did. What do you guys think? Hey, solid curiosity in what's happening. My opinion, what I think is here is you have a dog and you have a guest in your place. Something happens to your dog, even if it's caused by this guest. I don't think it's right to pressure them to be responsible for it, because owning a pet is inherently putting them out there into the world to where things can happen, right? It could have been anything, you know. The TV could have fell over and you know, caused a limp on your dog, right? You can't charge that TV the vet fee, so why you do it to a friend? Especially because, like, dude, that breaks friendships. Right? I think it's a conversation you can definitely have with this person and just be like, hey, we're taking him to the vet, no worry, like just making sure he's all good. But like, I also thought that it was something a little bit milder, but it looks to be something a little bit bigger, so we're just gonna take him to the vet and make sure he's okay. Honestly, your friend should be polite enough to say, hey, I feel really bad for what happened. I know I'm kind of what's leading into it, so I'd be happy to pitch in to the vet, just because, you know, it's just kind of like being a good friend, kind of just like offering that. Maybe you don't, the friend doesn't have to offer to pay for it all or anything like that, but I think it's like whenever you go to a restaurant and somebody's like, hey, I'll get the drinks here, or I'll pay for the food if you pay for the drinks. It's that kind of thing, right? It's just like being a little bit friend, you know, being polite, whatever. Don't think that you should give him the bill. Definitely, yeah, you don't need to be angry with him. It sounds like an accident. If it was on purpose, this guy's just malicious towards pets and just wants to pet sit, literally. And that's different. I don't think just taking him to the vet is enough for your friend to understand what he did. You should have a conversation either way with your friend. Say, hey, so we ended up taking the dog to the vet because it was a little bit more serious than what we thought it was. Still, no problem. He's in good health and blah, blah, blah. The vet said this or that. But just want to give you an update on that. You know, we were kind of upset that it was worse than what you led us on to be. But I know that might not be your fault. It's just an accident. But just want you to say that, like, you know, I'm good. You know, maybe be more careful around the dog because he's small and we love him, right? This person says, I would also charge that person, but they probably wouldn't be my friend anymore. True that. If you don't care about this person's friendship, you know, give them the bill. Are they going to pay the bill? I don't know. They might just ruin the relationship, ghost you, and never pay for it. And then you just lost a friend and you still paid for it. It's your risk. Whatever you want to do. Something to do with dating. So am I the asshole even though this isn't dating r/dating advice? Maybe it's still something similar along the lines. Let's see with it. It's not worth it. Yeah, the last one's not worth it. Back together with X. Haven't posted couple photos online since deleting. Am I the asshole? I'm 28, female, in an almost 5-year relationship with my fiance of 29 years old. That has been extremely rocky for the past 2 years. He has broken up with me multiple times despite my pleas to talk things out, screaming at me to pack my stuff up, telling me he doesn't love me anymore, threatened to tell my parents about our problems, screaming fights on the phone at 3 a.m., etc., etc. He'll usually cool down in about 12 to 24 hours and say there are things he does not mean, and he just doesn't know how to control himself when he's mad. He has said before he just wants to cause pain and hurt people more when he feels hurt or disrespected. I really want him to go to a more intensive outpatient or inpatient therapy for his trauma and anger issues, but he's talking to his coworkers at the fire station in the meantime. He seems pretty uncomfortable talking about his feelings and the concept of therapy. The last fight we had, which resulted in him breaking up with me over the phone around June or July, I deleted all my photos from social media with us in them. We've been trying to work things through, but I have not posted anything of us yet. I did recently post a selfie on my story when I had the girls' night out, which prompted him to screenshot my hand and zoom in on it on the fact that I was not wearing my ring. He's really hurt and upset that I have not posted anything yet, but I'm honestly not ready. I love him, but I feel like the carpet is going to get pulled from me from under me again, and I don't want to look or feel like an idiot. He takes this as me not wanting him and that I don't respect him. We were supposed to go on a road trip soon, and I was feeling up to posting something then, but the constant bringing up of this subject makes me feel forced to. I also understand that he probably feels like I'm wishy-washy about a relationship. I guess you could say I am, but I kind of feel justified. I don't know. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole here. He's obviously the asshole. If this was an r/dating advice, he's the obvious asshole. Right? This man is not treating you as well as you should be treated. And I think you know that. And I think you're okay with that. You're okay working things through, which shows that you have some like resilience. Be proud about that. Like you're a strong woman. Great. Okay. So if you're wanting to stay in this relationship, then you got to make some compromise here, especially with this type of person. He's going to be nitpicking at a lot of things. So choose your battles. Choose what fights you want to have. This one, he's upset because you haven't posted a photo or like a sign that you're with him. So, you know, what is it to you to post something? It sounds like that you're not really like a social media poster anyways. And so you only do things here or there. But in the grand scheme of things, it's just a photo. It's just a story upload, right? Like, don't give him the space to create more angst for you if it's something that you can simply do. That's what I would say would be a compromise here. It's probably not a battle worth fighting for. Now, there's some other things that he's nitpicking at, and he's a little bit hurt or disrespectful to you, right? He'll find things and say, hey, you didn't do this, so I feel hurt. Okay? So you also need to voice your thoughts more. And, you know, if you didn't want to post him and you're not really feeling like that's the compromise that you want to go in, what you should do here is just let him know how you honestly feel. Like, hey, past 2 years, we've broken up many times. We fight, you scream at me, you threaten to tell my parents. I'm here for you. I'm committed here. So I'm not saying that I'm not saying anything otherwise, but when it comes down to like posting you, even though it's such a small thing to do, and I can easily post that, I just don't feel like I have enough trust to. And it's my process of healing or dealing with working through myself. So I need a little space. Whenever I'm comfortable to do it, I'll do it. Trust me, right? Just be a little bit more patient with me. Have a little bit more grace. But you bringing it up or you criticizing me as not wanting to help you, that doesn't help. And it just like builds into that distrust a little bit more. And if you're uncomfortable with that, I understand. I would be too. Be completely understandable to be a little bit upset or not comfortable with what I have to say, but that's how I feel, right? And if he keeps pushing, then you say, hey, I kind of already voiced about how I feel about this. Like in this situation, you don't have to be the asshole for it, and you don't have to call him the asshole for it. I think you just need to have your boundaries stated. Stay where you're at, or make a compromise, because honestly, it's not that big of a deal. If it is a big of a deal, then find better ways to protect your sanity, especially whenever you're working with somebody like this. I don't necessarily think that this person is a bad person. There's definitely red flags there. And if you're okay with that, which sounds like you already know what they are, you're okay with that, just know that that's going to be a consistent thing with this person. You're engaged with him. You've been in a 5-year relationship. It's been back and forth. That's fine. Relationships are rocky. No relationship is perfect, but just see a little bit of the reality that's in front of you. And this is kind of like the r/dating advice, which you're not asking for, but I'm the one talking. So just know that those red flags that you see right now, it's been there for 5 years. It's amplified in the past 2 years. It's not going to change, right? I don't think it's going to get worse, and it's likely to get better if you work at it, and he's willing to work at it. But it's going to be there. You're going to be dealing with this type of shit for a long time. If you're not okay with that, then look at an exit strategy. Look at how you and him can have better boundaries and communication. He doesn't seem like someone who's comfortable with therapy, but I think you are. So are you seeing a therapist? Because I would recommend it. Not to just somebody in your situation, but to anybody, honestly, because whenever you come confronted with situations that make you feel uncomfortable or upset or angry or whatever like that, having a therapist is great to talk things through, because they give you options, right? That's what I would say. You're not the asshole. What do other people say? From my perspective, not posting couple photos after a big breakup is completely normal. My friend went through something similar and took her months to feel comfortable showing her relationship online again. It's not disrespectful. It's just protecting yourself until you're sure. Yep. And you can voice that. Not the asshole. And no, you are not wishy-washy about your relationship. You are just cautious. He is the wishy-washy one, blowing hot and cold. And he is super selfish and manipulative, expecting you to bounce right back and be 100% committed to him as soon as he does you the favor of coming back. You should listen to your own feelings and be very wary about being completely with him emotionally as soon as he demands it. Very, very true. You need to have a backbone, a spine, some spikes on you, to work with this type of person, or else they're just going to push you around. People really should, but the truth about relationships and stuff like that is we get ourselves into situations that we can't really see everything all at once, or even though we know we deserve better, there's still attachments to it, right? So I try to give a little bit more insight than just saying run, but I think in any case where the person should run, it needs to be stated: run, find somebody else. You had a long life ahead of you, so get out of this. Spend some time on yourself. Maybe it'll take you a year or two, or shorter, or a little bit longer, to find somebody else. That's okay. Because in the grand scheme of things, you're protecting your sanity, your health, your wealth, right? Okay. Am I the asshole for not wanting to be my friend's maid of honor anymore? This looks fun. My best friend since childhood asked me to be her maid of honor a few months ago, and at first, I was so excited. But since the planning started, it feels like everything I do is never enough. She expects me to pay for things I can't really afford, like an expensive bachelorette trip and a dress that costs me more than my monthly rent. Every time I bring up my concern, she says I'm ruining her dream and that I should just be happy for her. I've been trying to keep up because I don't want to let her down, but it's reached a point to where I feel stressed, broke, and honestly taking advantage of. I finally told her that if she keeps expecting me to spend money I don't have, I can't be her maid of honor. She cried and told me I was abandoning her at the most important time in her life. Now, some of our mutual friends are saying I should just push through for her sake. I love her, but I feel like I'm losing myself in this. Am I the asshole for not wanting to be maid of honor under these circumstances? No, you're not the asshole. Um, Honestly, you got to recognize, as good as you might may be with friends, you still have some boundaries. And if she's not respecting your boundaries, you just got to say, hey, I voiced myself here and I love you, but I need to step back because this isn't for me. I'm happy for you. I'm not trying to ruin anything, um, even though you might see it that way, right? And just support them and their perspective, because she obviously has a strong perspective already, um, but she's not really looking to your situation or to you, right? She's not being considerate at this moment, and she's not understanding that what she's asking for. You know, people have different standards for their weddings. People have different ways of going about it, right? She asked you to be the maid of honor. You would love to be, but you also have some limitations to what you can do. And if she's not willing to work with that, then there's no reason for you to be the maid of honor, right? She can find somebody else. She can not have a maid of honor. She can do whatever she wants. But people glorifying their dreams and holding other people's lives accountable to their expectations is not okay. So you should not let yourself be taken advantage of here. Um, so you should just tell her, hey, I'm out. If it ruins your friendship, it's not worth a friendship anymore. Weddings are stressful. You have all this bullshit going on, right? So, like, just say, hey, this is what I can give you. Can you work with this? Right? Let your friend be unhappy. Let your friend sulk around like, oh, you destroyed my dream. Let them have that win. Who cares, right? Like, if it's not worth destroying the friendship and just being like, hey, we're no longer friends or whatever like that, or fight with her, to say, this is what I can do with you. If that's not good enough, then fine. I can't be your maid of honor, but you can find somebody else for it, right? I'd still be happy to help out or do whatever I can with your wedding. And let them have their perspective and be like, hey, I understand your point of view, how you feel, but this is what I can give you. Because your best friend is going through an important moment in her life, but your life is just as important, right? Just because you don't have a wedding and you're not asking her to be your maid of honor doesn't mean that your point in your life is less important, right? She's not letting you, she's not seeing that. Now the asshole, you can buy champagne taste on you can't buy champagne taste on a beer budget. Tell her either tell her she either accords to your budget or you're leaving. You're not a bank and shouldn't be treated as one. Yep, I agree. Usually when you're in Japan, whenever you go to a wedding, if you're a guest at the wedding, you bring money and you give them money. And so people who have a lot of weddings in 1 year end up giving a shit ton of money away. And that's hard, right? So some people literally say no to some weddings. They pick and choose. No hard feelings kind of thing. But if you're invited to a wedding and it's far away, that rule for you to gift money doesn't apply to you. And oftentimes it's the bride and groom who will pay for your commute to get there. So let's say I needed to take the bullet train up north, and so a round trip is going to cost me $250. They would pay for that, and they wouldn't expect me to pay like a gift fee to them, right? Because I'm like kind of out of town. So they kind of have like some rules for it, but basically what they try to do is just make it, they kind of like honor your time and respect that. Exactly. Like it are like as a bride, are you really gonna let your ideals destroy your friendships, right? It's already stressful enough, so why are you going to destroy your friendships? You're going to get married, lose all of your friends, and then be miserable because you don't have any social life outside of your marriage. Okay, this is another one that's similar to like r/dating advice. But let me answer the question. If you are the asshole, There's been instances where my boyfriend's anger is just literally too much. And before it was all to other people, but recently it's been to me. At his birthday dinner last month, he yelled at me for asking him why he purposely spilled a paint can in the basement of our apartment. We live together in an apartment that has sewage and mold problems. What a life. We are pretty much out of there now. I'm back home with my parents. He swears he didn't know his voice was that loud, but I gave him multiple de-escalation notices. People were staring and the waiter asked me if I was okay. More recently, I got invited to an intimate show by my favorite band. I did have to fly out for it, but I have a flight benefit, so it wasn't a big deal to me. He was being so mean, controlling, jealous, etc., insinuating things, and just purposefully trying to ruin my trip. I would even say he was being verbally abusive. He said multiple times he trusts me, it's other people he doesn't trust. He went as far as sending me an article about in-flight R-word rates going up, knowing that. In general, it's my biggest fear and have dealt with sexual harassment before. Since then, he has been very apologetic and says he'll do things to be a better man for himself. Says he was drunk and dealing with the apartment stuff in the moment. And now that he's sober, we agreed to go on a no contact month-long break because I am seriously hurt by the things that he did. At first, I didn't want to immediately break up because of the stress from moving, his job, and things going on in his family. He also told me that he was planning on proposing on a trip with his family because I told his dad I'm not able to go anymore after this argument. I just asked him what was the reason for telling me now. He later apologized. Now I'm kind of over it. I don't think I'll ever be able to fully forgive him for the way he treated me in both situations so close together. I don't know if I'm giving him grace because as humans we make mistakes, or I'm letting him walk all over me. I don't think you're letting him walk all over you. I think it's more of like, again, where's your line here, right? You're obviously a person who's kind-hearted, willing to be flexible and work with somebody. You're resilient. You're okay managing some of this mental and emotional stress for a better relationship with him, hopefully, right? But he has a lot of fucked up problems. Just gonna say that. We all have fucked up problems. He has a lot of fucked up problems, right? And again, a lot of things like this, without help or without the person being intentional about it, they don't necessarily get better. The more you're in a relationship, getting married, him proposing to you, and saying that he was going to propose to you on a trip or something like that is manipulative. A lot of things that he's doing is manipulative. I don't think you're letting him walk over you, but you're definitely letting him manipulate your feelings and your emotions. Because you're a kind person, right? You're willing to work with him. So you're not the asshole for breaking up with him, but you need to be an asshole to have the guts to break up with him, right? Because I think he's going to try to guilt trip you again. He's going to try to manipulate you again. He's going to be hot and cold. He's going to be good and bad. He's going to like have some really good moments, clean up. I'm sober. I'm emotionally intelligent now. I'd really like to try this again. We had a good thing. He's going to try something like that and then just revert to his old ways because he was never really intentional about it in the beginning. Leave, move on. You're 26. You're 26. You have so much time to find a good guy, right? You're gonna leave. It'll be hard at first, but worth it. Not the asshole. I stayed and gave a guy like this a chance. He stole 4 years of my life and it almost destroyed me. Be smart. This guy's bad news and you know it. Don't be alone with him when you break up. He will get violent. Be safe. I think that's extremely smart. You should break up with him in an environment where you're safe, where you've let people know about it. There's people around you as well. And then if he's not accepting that, then hard block him. Hard block him. We are too good to allow people to mess up our space. So I think the question then comes down to, or the advice that maybe you need is how to break up with him. And I think this person leads into a good comment. Don't do it alone. Do it in a public or semi-public place with some friends or family, loved ones, people who care about you nearby, right? And then hard block him if he's not accepting it. If he's trying to be manipulative and all this other stuff, hard tell him, hey, this is not okay. I ended it with you and I'm okay being friends, but you trying to bring up this guilt trip shit is not okay with me. Keep doing it and I'm gonna hard block you on everything. Show up to my place unannounced, hard block, I'm calling the police, right? You like, after the fact, if you need to be an asshole for some situations to protect yourself, be an asshole. Do it. Sometimes we don't realize how being an asshole can be good for us. I think we're too nice as people sometimes. What's not okay is to either make somebody else responsible for your issues or manipulate them in a way to make yourself feel better because you have issues, or allowed yourself to be on the receiving end of that. Those are things that just be like, no, don't tolerate that.